joining us today for another episode of What's Your Why Wednesday. Today, I am here with the amazing Angel Almendarez. She is the branch manager at Nexa. She is also the instructor at Nexa Academy and an instructor liaison. And if that is not enough, she is also the founder and executive director of Just Breathe 365. Angel, thank you so much for being with us today. And, I've been looking forward to this because I had a conversation with Angel at the Vision Summit in June, just this past June. And she was, telling me about some of the things that she does outside of the mortgage industry. And I knew that I had to have her come on and share her why. So, Angel, normally the way we start this is we speak a little bit about how most of us have come into the mortgage industry by accident. But we stay in this industry because it's tied to our personal and professional why. But for you, even, not just the mortgage industry, but even expanding that, we said you're a branch manager, so you're dealing with that. But then you're also giving back by teaching and training and growing and developing other mortgage professionals. And then, of course, you've got Just Breathe 365. So we would love to hear, please share your why with us. And of course, I'd love to hear about Just Breathe 365.
Be happy to share. I mean, the stumbling into this business was, I won't say it was by accident because I've been in finances and I was in the car industry. I was doing finance with that. But I was looking for something as I was getting involved with my nonprofit and dealing with my girls, popping out my grandbabies and wanting to have time with them. I was dealing with a lot of, okay, I'm not getting home till 1 o'clock in the morning. Mm-hmm. So I'm not I'm making good money, but I have no time to do the things where my heart belongs, where my passion is. So what I found was that I started looking. And when I stumbled across mortgage, I was like, I don't know, let me try part-time. So I started part-time. And as you know, as everybody knows in this business, there is no such thing as part-time. So I actually told someone, the company that I was working with at the time, I'm like, January, I'll start full-time. So I got an email telling me, nope, this is November. Sorry, we don't take part-time anymore. Bye, see you. I'm like, okay, am I really supposed to be doing this? So I'm coming out of a 6-figure job, going into a job that is commission only and thinking, how am I going to do this? But I know who I am. I know the direction that I wanted to go. And I knew that it was really where I was supposed to be. So I started out in retail and I didn't have a lot of help. My branch manager at the time, she was a great LO. If I could have sat and followed her all day, I probably would have learned a ton. But she was consistently turning loans. So it was difficult to really get the help, the instruction and needed. So when I got the call from Christine Wake, the director from Nexa Academy, and said, hey, Angel, we've got a position for you. We've got a spot for you. This is really where you should be. Try brokering. That's really what I fell into by accident because I jumped in and I started drinking out of a fire hydrant. So, but she walked me through it. She taught me. And that's really my why for why I instruct, because she came up and she took the spot of a mentor, even before she was my mentor. And she started leading me through, okay, Angel, this is what you do in the broker world. This is where you go with this. This is how you take your business to the next level. So that for me was such an amazing opportunity to learn from her that when she gave me the opportunity to teach in the academy, I'm like, what would I have told myself when I started in this business? What was I missing? What didn't they tell me? So my passion in that was to make the light bulb go off in people and to say, okay, guys, if this is really what you want to do, how far do you want to go? What business do you want to operate? Where does it end? for you? What's that final moment? And in this right now, what's your aha moment? When do you grasp that moment when that this is what you're going to do? So giving back and teaching in that aspect is extremely important for me, because my whole life has really been about teaching, which is why I do Just Breathe 365, which is my nonprofit for domestic violence victims. So this nonprofit's actually only been active for a little over a year, but I've been working with domestic violence victims, their families, their children for over 10 years. But it's a very private industry, so to speak. You have to keep a lot of stuff hidden. And to be honest, I was doing a lot of funding of things on my own because I didn't want to ask people for money for it, because then I have to divulge information about my girls. And that to me was very scary, because I'm very protective, mama bear, when it comes to these women and what they've been through. And then with the mortgage industry, also, I discovered that I have the freedom to be with a family, to be there for my girls. They can pick up and say, Mom, hey, the baby's got a fever. Can you go pick her up? Why, yes, I can, and I get to go love on the grandbabies and be there for my girls. And then on the flip side of things, if I get a call and somebody says, Angel, he's out of the house, I've got 30 minutes, come get me.
Yeah.
I can go, okay, guys, I'm out. Bye. See you. And I don't feel bad. I'm not leaving anyone hanging in the dust, and I can come back because of my team, because of the people that I have backing me and the people that I have in this industry. I can come right back in and not miss a beat. So this industry has given me flexibility. It's given me the ability to give back to the community, to give back to my family. My kids growing up lost a lot of mom with me being in the auto industry. So to be able to give that back to them when they're grown, at least to their kids, that was important to me. So really my family and my outreach, and, not having to work on Sundays so that I can go and worship God, which is very important to me. These are all my whys. These are why I do what I do in the mortgage industry.
Aren't we so blessed? I mean, we really, right? We are so blessed I like to believe almost that the mortgage industry found us. I almost found like they, certain people are kind of were drawn to it, and we flourish in this industry. And that's what it's about. It's about being able to give back, whether it's our own family, whether it's the families that we serve, whether it's the nonprofit, right, or other charitable events, things that we work with. So you're right. We are so grateful, right? We have to be grateful every day. And with that,
we're blessed to be a blessing. That's the way I always put it.
Blessed to be a blessing. That is exactly right. I love it. All right. So Angel, I love, my second question is always my most favorite, because I love to hear, every day we're making a positive impact, right? We're changing people's lives. We're making a difference, right? I would love to hear from you. Give me a story. It could be something recent. It could be something from a bit ago. Give me a story from when you realized the absolute monumental feeling of impact that you had on someone else.
It's crazy because in this industry, I could give you a million and one things about the mortgage industry, helping a single mom with 2 boys get into a home, and who actually had been in an abusive relationship. So watching her become established and have a home of her own. And what's crazy is she's now flourishing. She's in a relationship, in a healthy relationship. She's about to have, another child, and she's flourishing. And it's so funny because she calls me, she texts me. She's like, Angel, we're looking at buying another house or expanding this one. What do you think? What should I do? And to have that relationship with someone that actually started out in the mortgage industry, she didn't even start out coming through my nonprofit, just because I get so involved with my clients in finding out who they are and what they're looking for, and really how I can help their finances set up their future rather than just buy a house and put money in my pocket. I've now created something that even her husband, when he met me, he goes, I'm never, ever going to be able to make a financial decision in my life without my wife calling you. Right. So those moments to me are so precious, because it's the times that I know that I've impacted her forever in helping her find that financial stability. On the Just Breathe side, the very first girl that I ever took in on the books, so to speak, once our nonprofit was live, I got a call, and she was in a hotel with 3 girls. And she's like, hey, the last nonprofit said we could only stay there 8 weeks. So now we've got no place to go. And she started crying. And she started saying, things like, I thought I was strong for leaving, but maybe I was weak, because if I wouldn't have left, my kids would have a place to stay. I could have dealt with the beatings. I could have dealt with the broken bones. And it shredded my heart, because that thought process is what keeps these women bound up and in these situations. But we took her in, and unfortunately, through the program, I had to give some tough love. And my hard stop is no drugs.
Yeah.
I cannot, it's my hard stop. You affect my family, you affect my board, you affect their families, you affect the other women in the program, you affect everything. If you have a problem with it and you tell me up front, we work on getting you help, but you cannot have that lifestyle in the program. So with much support from my board, mind you, because I am the forgiveness queen and the giver of second, third, fourth, and 872nd chances. We made the decision that we had to put her out of the program, which was heartbreaking for me. And with that being my very first person that I took in, that broke me. I failed. And failing to me is not an option. I grew up being told I would never be anything. I grew up being told that I was going to be a failure. So that's my trigger, is failure. And so it took me a while to get past that, with people telling me that, everybody has their life choices and you can't control what they do. So it did take me a while to get through that. But actually, and I believe I told you this, right before Vision 2020, I hear this loud truck pulling up in my yard. Okay. And I'm like, who is that? And I open up the door, and this little pipsqueak of a girl, because she's a tiny little thing, she hops down out of this big truck, and she comes running up, and she throws her arms around me. And she goes, I just wanted to tell you that because of the program, because of the things you taught me, because of the tough love you gave me, she goes, I made it. She goes, yes, I ended up going to jail for a little bit. I lost my kids for a little bit, but I went through rehab. I've got myself established. I'm in a good relationship with a good man. We're building a house. I've got a job. I'm doing all of these things, and my kids are coming home next week.
Oh, wow.
So that moment for me was the most incredible thing, because I had felt like a failure. And she's like, no, she goes, you told me the rules. You told me where things were and where I stood. And you loved me even through that moment, through that space, through that time when I was horrible to you, when I screamed at you, when, I thought that, you were taking my kids from me, when I thought it was your fault, until I realized that it was mine. So it was, that moment really was my, okay, Just Breathe 365 is my heart. It's my passion. It's where I'm going.
Wow. And that is impact. That is lasting impact into the world. So kudos to you and your board and everything that you guys are doing, because that is the power of believing, right? Believing in others, giving people grace to be able to work through that. And it's hard to hold people accountable and follow those rules. But look at, by doing that, look what that outcome was, right? You didn't enable, you didn't allow, right? If, oh, we'll make that exception, and it's hard. It's very hard. But her children will be forever thankful and grateful for that. So amazing, amazing. All right, Angel. So you are an instructor at Nexa, right? You're instructor liaison, you're part of the instructor academy. So I'd love to hear from you. What would be your advice that you would give to someone that's new to our industry? What are some things that you would say, these are really important foundational things that you would wish that you knew, or you wish someone told you coming into the industry?
Well, the first thing I say is that we are loan originators. That is our job. I honestly believe that a lot of new people get bogged down, really, really tied down and bogged down into the bits and pieces of what we do, what I used to term the grunt work. Making sure the 1003 is perfect, making sure we have all of the paperwork, making sure that, everything is perfect and we've got the loan ready to go. And those are absolutely parts of what we do. But above all else, we are originators. We are meant to go out and talk to people. We are meant to go out and inspire other people to go for their dream, the dream of home ownership, the dream of becoming an investor, the dream of, becoming a commercial building owner or a business owner, and giving that hope to people that you can provide an opportunity to advance their life financially and secure their future and their legacy of who they are and things that they can pass down to their children and their children's children's. We are loan originators. Don't get bogged down in the little stuff. Know that with being an originator, you're out there, you're talking to people, and you're showing them what you can do for them, not what they can do for you. They're not there to line your pocket with the money that you make out of a deal. Do we get paid well? Yes, but we work hard for it too. But ask the questions. What matters to them? What's their why? Yeah. Why are they doing this? And what was their aha moment when they decided they needed a house, wanted to be an investor? When you get them talking about them, now you've created a customer for life that will call you consistently, sometimes annoyingly, but consistently, to refinance their house, to do a rental loan, to help them buy their next house. They're buying houses every 5 years, guys. So follow up and know that you're an originator first.
I love that. And it is so easy to get caught up in the minutia, right? To get caught up into the paperwork, to get caught up in that. But you are right. Having those bonds, having those relationships, building that out within your community, that is what originators need to focus in on, right? The other stuff needs to happen, and it's very important, and all of that is great, and it's great to have a team around us that can help. But at the end of the day, stay focused, and because the more that you're focused and working on that, the more families you can help, the more impact that you can have. So I think that's great advice, and it is something that when you first come in, sometimes you get sideways and you start to focus in because you think that's the most important thing, because you're like, oh, well, if I don't get those documents, the loan won't close, right? And then I can't get paid. And yes, we understand that. But if you only focus on that, you're not going to refill that pipeline. You're not going to have new ones coming in. And so, yes, you worked hard and you got paid, but you need to have a pipeline full of new ones going in there so you can help more families. Love that. Well, Angel, thank you so much for sharing your why. I knew I had to hear more about Just Breathe 365. We wish you the ultimate success in everything that you're doing at Nexa. And of course, that nonprofit that you will leave a lasting legacy in the lives that you will touch. Thank you for fulfilling that passion and for everything that you do. We wish you all the best always.
Thank you.